Hey guys, Paulo is here. Today's my last video about depression of my third series. The first one was about traumas and fears. The second one was anxiety and panic attack. And today I'm finished. That's my 10th video of 10 videos about depression. Guys, we spoke about depression, happiness, depression, purpose, depression, and sadness, and the difference between depression and sleepless or sleep. But one thing we need to talk about it is I have heard many times people say, oh, I've been having depression for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. There isn't such a thing. Or either you need to change your medication or you need to talk to your doctor about it because depression has to have a beginning, middle, and end. And that's the way it works. Why? Because depression, as I spoke to you guys about it, is it's it's a feeling where you don't know where it comes from. You don't understand why you are having that sorrow, that depression, that sadness. It's something that comes you're not expecting, and all of a sudden it just right comes has the beginning when it comes, has the middle when start, the whole thing is developing, and it has to have an end. Because if it doesn't have an end, it's impossible for you to be living a healthy life. And I understand a lot of people say they have been having depression for a long time, but the truth is, it doesn't work like that. It can be a long sorrow because you lost someone. It can be a long sadness because of that, but not necessarily in depression. Depression, as I said, has to have a beginning, middle, and end. And all the things you spoke about, what helps with depression is a good night of sleep. Um, of course, can be hormonal too for women, and that's for a fact. When women come a certain age and she start losing their hormones and depression, it's one of the first things that comes with a headache and several other things. But then you understand why. You need to find a direction. You need to understand why you're having that depression. It can be out of nowhere. And as we spoke about it before, when you have that feeling out of nowhere, that sadness, you can't point out why you have that sadness. Um, you think to yourself, I'm sad because I lost, I have a loss in the family, I lost my animals, or, lost a job or somebody that you love. But still, you need to have an end. If you don't have an end, you'll need to find out why. And that's when I talk to you about not only, but that's when I talk to you about the connection you have with your creator. You can call it anything you want, guys. This is not a religion thing. I'm not talking about religion. I talk about the connection you have inside. It's the umbilical cord you have with your creator, with, the whole one, the one who created us, the one, bigger conscience, whatever you call. When you find that connection, that's the intimate connection you have. You don't need a third party to bring you there. You don't need to go to a place or eh, look, again, I'm not, if you feel comfortable doing something else, that's fine. But the connection you have with God is the only one and intimate one that you have. And when you have that, your life becomes richer. Why? Not because you're going to get anything you want, not because things going to go your way. And most of the time it won't. But the truth is, it's the satisfaction that we have inside. It's something that tells you, you know what? I have that confidence inside me. Something that tells me everything's going to be fine at the end, and that means the spiritual thing you have, the spirituality that you have to develop, not because you need to find someplace else. Guys, please never find God outside of yourself. God's not outside. God's inside you. Outside is nature. Animals, plants, everything you see is God. And you see God's face everywhere, including your face when you look at yourself in the mirror. And when you look at other people too. Because right, it's important to know we are here to help each other, to serve and help. And God is so good to me that the intimacy I have with my creator, since the beginning, since I was born, I always felt that. I never had to go any place for somebody to tell me we are here to help each other. I always understood that. Not because I'm smart, because I always cultivated that feeling, the spiritual feeling inside. And that's what matters. When you have that, doesn't matter what happens to you. And again, things are not going your way because, you have that connection. What's going to happen is the satisfaction of who you are. You're going to feel content for being who you are. You're going to feel like it's a light inside you where nobody can, blow it, or nobody can just go there and shut it off. It is that light where, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how hard it is, and the next corner, or you climb a mountain and you're going to get there. That's the feeling I always had. Nobody had to tell me that. I always had a feeling, I never felt, oh God, why my life is so hard? Why am I having depression? I always felt, you know what? Doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to make it. Not because I'm smart, not because of connections. It's because the connection that I have with my creator, with a bigger conscience with me. And I love it to talk about it because that got me out of depression, along with the things we spoke, along with the good sleep, a good book, getting my attention. But, from depression, putting my attention someplace else or somewhere or someone else besides you, because we're not the only ones. That's another thing. When you're depressed, you think, oh, poor me, I'm the only one. We're not the only ones. So many people there need your help, need your smile, need your light. So many other people there, they need you to tell them they're a beautiful person, and we all are inside. And the dark side too. We have the darkness inside us. To find that light I'm talking about, guys, took me a long time. I knew it, I had it, but to find it took me a long time because it is the trip that you take inside you. Is you take that trip inside and it's so dark until you find that light. And when the light comes, you understand who you are, and has a lot to do with depression. I always said when I learned that it's just a story, it's a Buddhist story where he said someone was so desperate in the dark, and the creator would come and you would ask for the light, and the creator would close that door again. And the creator would come after a while, and the person still afraid, asking for God's light, and the God would shut that door again. And by the third time, when God opened the door, the person already has the light. He or she understood. He was the light. She was the light. The light we're looking for, it's inside you. All your answers are inside you. And I guarantee you, you're going to find them. And if you don't find them, I help you out. Let's keep talking about it. That was the series of depression. Next week, I'm going to start shame. Let me tell you, who hasn't, who hasn't felt shame about something or someone or about themselves? And has a lot to do the way you grew up, has a lot to do the way you see yourself, and has a lot to do about forgiveness, forgiving yourself, which is harder sometimes than forgiving other people. I know. Being there, done that, and every day I need to work on myself. Guys, every day I work on myself. Nothing comes easy. Everything is work. If you think life is supposed to be easy, it's something's missing in your life. You're not understanding. Don't shelter yourself. Don't shelter your children. Let them go, and you go to your path. Let them learn. Let them go to the darkness, because that's the only way you're going to find the light. Go to the darkness. You're going to find your light. Your children will find their lights too. I guarantee you. I've done that to my children. It was hard, but they found their lights. And that's the most beautiful thing when you see, as a mother, you did the right thing. Not because they're better or smarter than anybody else, but because they're good people. They found their light, and that's what matters. Let's raise good people. Let's raise good people. Let's become better than we were yesterday. Not better than each other. Don't compete. I don't believe in competition, guys. I really don't. I think we all have a light. We all have a place in the sun. So let's talk about depression. That's it. Let's talk about shame. Starting next week. 10 videos about it. It's going to be my fourth series. So please just subscribe, give your like, tell your friends, your family, and let's go together this journey. Okay? And see you in the next video. Bye.